Good evening and welcome to this year's first edition of Capital Straight Talk. This is Capital FM and I'm your host, Rhodes Msonkom. And our guest tonight is Willie Edward Chapondera, Mayor for the city of Lilongwe. Mr. Willie Edward Chapondera, many thanks for joining us in this edition of Capital Straight Talk.
You are welcome. I'm free to attend the program.
Many thanks indeed. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too, dear friends.
You've just told the nation that you will not seek re-election next week when we have these mayoral elections. You tell us, why have you decided to take that position?
Well, it's not something strange to the public. One can withdraw or cannot choose not to stand for the elections on that small thing that we have to share the powers. Let others also do the same. What I did before, let them also do and experience the same. So I decided to leave just because someone should take it over, and then anything, then we share it together. Because I'm not away from the chamber. I will be within the chamber.
As a mayor councillor now?
Yes.
For Kawale 1 ward?
Yes, full councillor, not part and parcel of councillorship.
But can you tell us, are you under any pressure for you not to continue as a mayor for Lilongwe City? Because this is interpreted differently, and for me, I can say that you have failed to deliver as mayor for Lilongwe City. That's why you're bowing out.
These people think about that because when one says, I'm not standing, it doesn't mean that someone can do it. We have done some few things here, a lot of them, people still admire. It's not because of being leadership. There are some people who can also assist on development. So you can see the BEAM has done it, the government has done it, so it's part and parcel of everyone citizen of the city to do the development. You
made your decision known to your fellow councillors in August last year, and that was way back. What happened for you to tell them in August that you not seek re-election?
That is anyone, I did that to make everyone well prepared because, it's a voting system. When it is told in time, everyone, of course, gets aware, and he does prepare himself what to do to be a mayor, because he has to campaign, and whatever she or he can campaign, and let people vote for him. So I gave him ample time to have that chance.
So have any of those councillors come forward to express their interest in running for the position?
Yeah. A number of them, they have come in, joined the councillorship. They're there. They're so happy about that as well. They're interested to do that.
We are getting reports of political bickering in most councils ahead of these elections. A number of councillors trying to reposition themselves, campaigning for that position. Is this why you have thrown in the towel so early?
No. I was not threatened by anybody, and neither being told what to do. I had to do that on my own and on my own discretion. And people can talk a lot of what is happening in the councils, but it's not common in other councils as well. Let things happen according to what council has decided and what individual have decided. So my decision was that want to give way for someone, let someone also experience the same story. Because I knew we are councillors today, come to 2019, maybe some might lose the councilship or maybe go to an MP as well. That's what I hear from other people.
Do you see yourself being in Parliament in 2019 yourself?
I don't. Well, I can't say much on the phone because you know who is a politician.
You're not talking to me. You're not talking to me alone. There are a lot of people listening to you now, and some of them are those who voted for you in 2014. Yes. If you answer this question, then you'll be answering to those people.
Yes.
Are you seeing yourself going to Parliament in 2019, Councillor Chapondera?
Not at all. I've got something to do. I've got my own things to do.
Well, what else do you do apart from being a councillor or mayor for Lilongwe City, as we're talking now?
Come on, you dear friend. That is so private and confidential. I can't disclose all that. Well, I do other things before I became a councillor. I had something to do what I was doing before. So I will continue the same what I was doing.
Like what? Are you a businessman?
Yeah. I like business. I like selling business. I do other small business to keep me living.
What legacy do you think you're leaving behind, Councillor Chapondera, Mayor for Lilongwe City, that you think people in Lilongwe and Malawians in general will be able to remember you and not other mayors who have been there will talk about the city of Lilongwe?
That's a very good question. People in Lilongwe will admire. I will say something about me when I leave. Number one, I have a program of making sure that some of these roads are to be bituminized. They have been tarmacked mostly in the locations. Of course, what we heard from the government, they did fund that money, but for the roads to be constructed, to be maintained, we had to sit down in the council, and that we had to approve it, which roads is to be bituminized. So we have done all those things together, but I was definitely interested to see the roads, the tarmac roads within the location of the city of Lilongwe, which are being done now. Others are completed, others is still in progress. Number two, we have Lilongwe here. I remember last time somebody drew a roundabout with a running mouse, saying the dry stones on the roundabout. The roundabout are not good, they're not comfortable, they don't even look like they're in the city. But we have managed to get some donors who managed to help us, and I have to encourage them to do the same. As at now, if you see something like happening when I leave, there's a clock tower which is to be built. That is on my own initiative. We have got one contractor who is definitely to take all the rubbish, maybe all the papers, the black papers, to make it fuel as well as energy. So that is to happen under my vision. That is going to happen. So, a number of things like I have done also with orphans. Some other places I visit them, we have done a lot of things on the orphanage. Helping them with whatever they lacking. We have done great help together with the city council, mostly the secretariat. We have done a number of things, assisting these kindergarten schools. Well, that's what is happening here. Even the provision of licenses.
Talking about those roads that you've managed to bring to some locations in the city of Lilongwe, were you sitting down with your fellow councillors and to discuss these developments before actually implementing them? I'm asking this question because there are complaints in some locations in Lilongwe where people are saying that you haven't been able to reach them. You favored some areas.
There are no favors. We had to plan. We said we didn't want the tarmac road. We wanted the gravel roads. But fortunately, the government has to say, oh, no more gravel. We are going to do that. Said, all right, selective. We have some roads which, some roads are very busy. They need that. For example, I'll give you Kwetekere Road, St. John's through. And that one from M1 to Area 24, which is in Gwenya side. Where there's this much traffic, there's a demand of a lot of things. No, we had to choose councillors, and we had to sit down together. We had even to vote in the chamber. So there was nothing private.
You're comfortable? You're sure that the people got what they were supposed to get at that particular time?
Oh, of course. They have got tarmac roads. They're happy. There are no problems. If you talk of lights, the Lilongwe now, some street lights, they had no lights. But today, they're all lights. Up.
Before we go for a short commercial break, what can you tell me about sanitation? I'm asking this question because we have seen people, especially those who do their business of selling shoes and the like, turning the Lilongwe River into a dump site. And this has happened under your watch. Why have you allowed this to happen?
Well, nothing allowed that one, and nobody did allow that one. People are different, just as you are different for me. When people stopped, to do something, they do it during night. In Lilongwe, some people, I'm talking of the city of Lilongwe, some people are not understanding, do not take it to be seriously that it is not good to dump this rubbish into the city or into the river, Lilongwe River. But others do accept it. They know it. They've got dustbins that we sometimes provide. And even provision of the dustbin, the big ones for that matter, to dump in. But if you go to where the empty things there,
did you expect them to know on their own, because the levels of understanding is different among people?
Yes.
Did you undertake an initiative to sensitize them the dangers of doing that?
You must be very good. Yes. Preferably, I was once a teacher. I like to impart knowledge to somebody else. To impart knowledge means to have a collection of people who really understand what you want them to do. And when they are called in to sit down, sometimes even calling the police, calling the people who are around my ward, telling them the goodness of being cleanliness around the place. That has been done, and some people didn't understand it. Some are digging pits, some have got some places where they dump their rubbish, and the city council come to correct. Definitely, I can go even ahead. We had no, previously we had no, the carriers, we call them carriers, skip carriers. Definitely good enough. We managed to get one new skip carrier from Water Aid, good enough, we are using it. Some of the vehicles which were broken down, they're under repairs, even though they were old ones. But one thing is, Lilongwe is growing faster almost every day. We are here during a day, we are about 2 million. But that night, it's safe. So when you have got more during the day, we have got tomorrow, dirty, rubbish, pit, whatever. So it's not all places in the Lilongwe which need much sanitation, but sanitation is much more on our side in the markets. Other places are clean. If you come to city center, it's not as big as your ward town. If you go to 25 some places, you find it clean. Only that people expect everywhere to be clean, which is impossible.
Today in the program, I'm talking to Willie Edward Chapondera, Mayor for the city of Lilongwe. Let's talk about the issue of management of funds. I'm asking this question because we have heard stories of mismanagement of funds at council level, and most of the times it starts with people like yourself. How much have you done to secure the funds for the seat of Lilongwe at the council there?
First of all, the seat of Lilongwe is, of course, I can say, is divided into groups. The first one is the secretariat. The other one is the mayor and the councillors, which is the chamber. Same time, we have got within the chamber, there are a number of departments with different directors. And then when you talk of financial problems, it's almost every council that I understand is true. But for the Lilongwe alone, when that was discovered, we have managed, we made another trustee that is now employing some people, not like employing as such, but making special committees, a number of people to go and collect money, person to go and collect like each licenses. And then we are now, after licenses is over, we are now going back to the markets, where we have also to make another committee to collect that. As I'm talking to you now, with that system, with that trustee, we are going ahead. Now there are some people who talk about mishandling of finances. Yes, it is. But the thing is, that is individual thinking. The council does not allow that. When that is discovered, definitely you'll find some people are suspended. Sometimes
are you in control of what is happening, for example, in markets where we hear officials from councils do come up with their own fake receipts and use them at the expense of the original ones, and they collect money and put them in their pockets? Are you aware of such undertakings?
Well, I've heard that, and I'm aware of that. This is why we have made that special arrangements that definitely we have to make, to have a special committee running that department, that system. We have to make sure that all directors responsible for that particular department should understand how to handle that cash.
Very shortly, I'll be getting in touch with some residents of Lilongwe, because they are very much interested to know that I have their mayor in today's edition of the program, and they would want to pose one or two questions to you. I don't know if you are comfortable with that, Mayor Chapondera.
I am always comfortable with any question, whether above or below.
All right, I'll be taking one of those residents in a moment in this edition of Capital Street Talk.
Very happy. I'm happy because nobody has to vote out for me, because I managed to do that. Let's share. I want to experience what other presidents did in the world. Why can't you do that to me?
But
because I know.
But even if you leave, as you're leaving the stage, are you ready to account for any penny that came your way in your capacity as mayor for the city of Lilongwe?
Definitely, if you talk of money and whatever is there is a certain department which handles the money under the provision or under supervision or under request from the chamber. So that is all what we can do, because the money you talk about is only we get something in papers already approved by the chamber, and the directors, special directors or special department or section handle that money to do that particular development. Now, if anything is not done there, or definitely, the person will come back to the director, and some people even come to us and say, to do what we can do to sort it out.
All right, let's hear from this caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, who am I talking to?
Yes, I'm Mr. Sengwa Speeder right away here in the capital city of Lilongwe.
Many thanks for joining us. And here on the line as well, I have the mayor for Lilongwe City, Councillor Willie Chapondera. Do you have a question for him?
Yes, I've got questions for him. Welcome, Mr. Chapondera, to your tenure in office. We appreciated your humble duties that you offer to Malawians, in particular, Lilongwe residents. But if you look at the way Lilongwe River has been dumpsided by a lot of garbages, now it's stinking. How do you feel you are living in office at a time whereby Lilongwe is not in a good shape? We're talking about some people that are taking their shoes, washing there. Some people, they are dressing right away there. How do you feel? And what can you tell Malawians? We have got the dump site right away near in 6 miles. You're looking at that place. There's a generation and generation. They are scavenging that area whereby garbages are being thrown. There are rotten chickens there. When they take it, they resell at the market. About these allegations, and these allegations are very true. How do you make it that maybe your fellow person, your fellow mayor, who's going to take over your office, what should he do so that that place should be ended in that shape that no one should go there and scavenge? While we are talking scavenging at a time whereby when garbages are thrown there, it's just left to open their places. There are no some measures that you can put in place that no one can go there and pick up the garbages that have been thrown there. Last thing, I would like to ask you that how are you going to work there outside there? While some other people are saying that Lilongwe has not yet developed the way Lilongwe they thought could develop under your leadership. Thank you very much, Mr. Chapondera. I wish you well on Capital Radio as you leave the office.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gamsengwa. But before you go, I know it has been discussed for a long time, saying that residents have also a role to play to change the face of their cities. For example, this evening we're talking about Lilongwe. What role have you played to assist the outgoing mayor, Chapondera, during his tenure as a resident of Lilongwe? Yourself, Mr. Gamsengwa.
Myself, I've been in radios trying to take sensitization to the Malawians that we should not bleed down everywhere. We should plant trees, not just one tree, but we should plant more than one tree to beautify not only the city of Lilongwe, but to beautify the whole Malawi as a greener as it might be. Calling him on his
Mr. Gamsengwa, I'm afraid the mayor might forget the questions that we have posed here. Let's stop it there, and you listen how the mayor is going to respond to the questions that you have posed. But many thanks that you joined us in the program this evening. Well, that's one of the residents of Lilongwe, Peter Gamsengwa, raising a number of issues there. Mayor Chapondera,
We have heard from this caller, but mainly I would want you to start with this question whereby he's raising a concern to do with children who scavenge at 6 miles dump site in Lilongwe.
That's very well. From now and above, that thing is already sorted out. It's only what is now waiting for is to implement. We have got a contractor who is a donor to plant a machine over there. All what has been collected, what will be collected from now and above, maybe, that machine will work into all those rubbish into fertilizer. So there will be nobody there next few months to come. There will be nobody there. It will all be a machine and it will work, and those people will no longer be there.
And there are some areas that you take long to go and collect garbage, and this create problems when it comes to issues of sanitation. Will that improve as well?
Yes, it will improve, because I know the moment that thing starts, there will be no more rubbish being hit somewhere.
And hearing from the caller that we had, it appears they are not fully contented with your performance and how Lilongwe is looking like today. Their expectations haven't been met. You believing that position as mayor, but you still be at the council as a councillor. What will be your role to make sure that Lilongwe regains that status to befit a capital city of the country, Malawi?
You are talking in terms of my ward?
Your contribution in general to make sure that your successor meets the expectations of people in turning Lilongwe to be the capital city that everyone is longing for?
You know, after a good 9 to 10 years without a mayor and without councillors, I was the first mayor, and these are the first councillors. All what I've done, yes, they might look not up to date. Yes, that I understand. But for the next mayor or the next councillor, whoever will be there, it will look like he has now upgraded, or he'll do whatever above what I've been doing before. Because he has learned, he has seen what I was doing, he has seen whatever I did, then there he'll start from that side going above. Because what we're talking about is a development. I have done my little development during all this time that I was raising problems, but all is the same. I'm not afraid of anything. But I've done it. All what I've done is what I've done. So people might say, no, not this one, not this one. You know, Lilongwe is, different from the other areas, different from Kawale, different from Area 25. We are all the same, but we differ in thinking, even activities, even in performance, and nobody's perfect. Maybe you are perfect.
You tell me, what's your relationship, working relationship with your party, the Democratic Progressive Party?
100% right.
100% right.
Yes.
Councillor,
I'm not even disappointed.
You recently wedded
Your long-time fiancé.
Congratulations for that. We should be parting ways now. Before you go, would you want to greet your wife, Councillor Chapondera?
Oh, yes. I have to greet my lovely wife. That is my right of him. I will take care of her. I say thank you to my wife because of her accepting me as a husband. I really appreciate that. And I thank God for that. And I have a good wife.
You are a happily married man now.
Oh, if you could see how happy I am. I'm not even sitting now. When I'm talking, I'm standing around in my office.
To mean what?
Running around. I'm walking here now proudly because I know I'm going to have more time with my wife.
Before you go, just tell Malawians how you describe yourself. What kind of a person are you? Where do you come from? In a minute, how do you summarize that information?
I come from Balaka. My home is Mackenzie Village, where I belong. I was born in Blantyre. I'm professional. I'm a teacher, and I'm an accountant. I've got all papers in accountancy, diplomacy in accountancy. I can teach. At the same time, I went for a pastoral course anyway. I'm halfway pastor. I can teach in the church. I can preach as well.
Where do you go to church?
Assemblies of God.
Let me once again say thank you very much that you spared your time. I know you are a very busy man, but you spared your time and have a talk with us in this edition of Capital Straight Talk. We wish you well, Councillor Chapondera.
I thank you very much for calling me the time. I need you also a long stay during the year.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Well, that's how we conclude today's edition of the program, Capital Straight Talk. Today in the program, I was talking to Willie Edward Chapondera, Mayor for the city of Lilongwe.